Hello, welcome back to Couple of Games. I'm Ivy, and we're going to be doing something different this time. I'm going to be discussing supers and ultimate abilities in PvP, particularly pertaining to counterplay, using Destiny as an example, and then I'm going to be comparing and contrasting Destiny with Overwatch, because they're obviously rather similar genres, FPS RPGs, where Destiny just took the RPG a little bit further, and Overwatch took the PvP aspect a little bit further. I'm going to start off with three general things. We're going to talk about the three main classes, each of their subclasses, their ultimate abilities, while we're talking about the subclasses, the counterplays available to them, and then I'm going to go in and compare and contrast Destiny's super abilities and the way that they work those in comparison to Overwatch. Without further ado, let's get started. Gunslinger is the first hunter subclass. Your super ability is called the Golden Gun, also called the Golden Penis, the Tiny Penis, or the Tiny Golden Penis by community members and fans. This gun is a small hand cannon that has 3 shots. Generally, each shot is an insta-kill, although it does still suffer from damage fall-off like a normal hand cannon, can be reduced with enough armor. I have had people that I've shot rather close range nearly die from it, but not quite die, and can also be reduced by people who have less armor than that and overshields. Overshields being exactly that, extra shielding. This can be generated with certain melees, certain supers, and can be given to other allies through certain supers. Those ones will be commented on. Yeah, that's the Gunslinger. Blade Dancer, Gunslinger, counterpoints, counter measures, and what you can do not as the Gunslinger. You can beat them in the shooting game. It is possible, it is incredibly hard. They need to land 1 shot, and I'm going to use Hawkmoon as my reference for how many shots you need to do. It's 3. You can get lucky with 2 headshots and/or a headshot and a lucky shot from Hawkmoon, but generally, the magic number is 3. So you need to dodge 2 or 3 shots from the Gunslinger and land 2 headshots, 2 lucky shots where 1 is a headshot, or 3 normal shots in order to kill them. It's doable. I've done it. I've had it happen to me. The times it happens to me and where I've done it are very slim. Usually what happens is you're being fired up from multiple angles. And even then, you typically take at least one of them with you. I know in a lot of cases it's been 1v3s, and I'll just Golden Gun, take out one of them, and the other 2 finish me off. So, counterplay for it, not a whole lot. You can hide, you can gang up on them, because it's a console-only game right now until the Destiny 2 comes out, which is coming out for PC in October, if I'm remembering dates correctly. And so you just don't have the fidelity you would with a mouse to turn as quickly as you could on PC. So if they're at, 33 degrees from each other or more, 45 degrees even, there's not a lot you're going to be able to do about it. They're going to you'll get 1, maybe 2 of them if there's 3 people. Otherwise, your best bet is just hide behind something so they don't have line of sight, because Golden Gun's duration isn't very long. You don't get all 3 shots guaranteed. You have a certain amount of time to get those 3 shots. So, yeah, that's counterplay. Blade Dancer is the next subclass we're going to talk about. Their super is Arc Blade. You pull out a tiny little knife charged with electricity, and you dash around and shoot, kill people. You can also shoot at a force of electricity, or you can spin and do electricity around you, or turn invisible. So I can't say for sure if this is the case, but in my experience, I believe the Blade Dancer gets increased armor when they activate this. I shot somebody with 3 shots of Hawkmoon, one of which I know for a fact was a special shot. Hawkmoon does 3 shots in the barrel are increased damage. I know one of them was that, and I only took out their shield instead of killing them like I normally would with that. So, it may or may not increase armor. I haven't seen anything anywhere that says it increases armor. I also haven't looked super hard. I've just been looking at the description of the in-game descriptions for it. But it would make sense to me that you'd have increased armor because you're dashing around and trying to melee people. That being said, Blade Dancer's duration is a lot longer than that of Gunslinger, so they have a lot more ability to move around to stab you. The main disadvantage to it is that the targeting for blades in the game, you can wind up attacking people you've just killed again with a blade instead of targeting the person who's alive right next to them. Because of the way the targeting works in the game. And because you're dashing in, you generally do one-shot people unless they have an overshield. But again, people with overshields and a lot of armor, I have seen survive. Counterplay for this, run the fuck away. Hope to God you're faster than them, or if you know what Titan skating is, which is a technique where Titans abuse the fact that their jump gives them a boost of speed at the beginning. They can increase their speed dramatically and go really fast. But other than that, there's not a lot you can do against the Blade Dancer. Again, 3 people teaming up on them can kill him. You'll still probably lose 1 person. The last subclass for the Hunter is the Night Stalker. The Night Stalker, you have your super is Void Shot, and you pull out a bow and you shoot a tether. Tether is a small ball, and within a certain radius, anything that walks there gets tethered for the duration. There is a perk that lets you increase the area of tethering, and there is a perk that also lets you go from shooting 1 tether to shooting 3 tethers. Duration for the 3 tethers is pretty decent. Between Blade Dancer and Gunslinger, I would say, from just the feel. And generally, if you get a direct hit with the tether, that will kill the person and tether anybody nearby. And usually, tethers will prevent people from using their supers. If they are already using their super, it will kick them out of their super. I know this doesn't always work. I've had it happen to me. Whether or not it's just buggy, or whether or not it's intentional, or whether or not it takes a certain amount of time and it just didn't pass. I've had it happen on both sides where I've pulled out my golden gun and been tethered and it disappeared, and I've had it where I tethered somebody and they didn't stop supering until they died. I just don't know if it's buggy or if that's the case. Counterplay for this, don't be near them when they use it. If you get tethered, just shoot them. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage. It doesn't give them a huge advantage in the fight. It does give them a minor advantage. It does take down usually about half of somebody's shield. But again, just keep your aim true. Be patient. You can still win this fight rather easily. Next, we're going to go on to talking about the oh-so-hated Titans. Their first subclass you unlock is the Striker subclass, and their ultimate ability is Fists of Havoc, I believe is what it's called. And they Hulk smash an area and shoot lightning out of it. They also have a perk where they can increase the AoE damage. They can have it so it does a lasting AoE damage after they Hulk smash, although in PvP that's not really required. The other thing is they can get a perk that increases their armor substantially while doing this. I've had it where I've landed 5 Hawkmoon shots on somebody who was doing this and got them down to about half health. Evidently, I didn't get all 5 shots off while they had the increased armor, but regardless of that fact, they had a substantial amount of armor and didn't die during this. This is an AoE ability that one-shots everybody in its AoE. Counterplay to this, don't be near them. You can't even hide from them for it because it goes around most cover. The only other thing you can really do is hope there's enough of you with enough damage to kill them. But even then, they still have their super because they never got it off. It doesn't drain when they jump, it drains when they land. So even if you golden gun and insta-kill them, they're just going to do it the next time, and you won't have a golden gun. Yeah, that's your counterplay. The next class you get for the Titan is the Defender. What they have is a bubble, and the bubble, people can't shoot in, people can't shoot out. And you can grant overshield to allies who walk through it, or you can grant increased damage to people who walk through it. However, you still can't shoot through it. So it doesn't grant a huge advantage. I know in the time it takes people to walk out and back in, I've killed them before they've killed me. 1 or 2 extra shots, that's about it for the overshield. And you can walk through it and stab them. Depending on the grenade you have, you can plant it outside of the shield and it will shoot through the shield. So there's a lot of counterplay to this. It's not very reliable in any way. The greatest advantage to it really is you can just grant overshields to a bunch of your allies for like 10 seconds while they run around. Now the last subclass is the Sunbreaker. The Sunbreaker is the one subclass I have not had the opportunity to play any time on, so what I'm seeing is entirely from the receiving end of these, and from what I've read up on the class. The Sunbreaker's ultimate is Hammer of Sol. What they do is they throw a fuck ton of hammers. Hammers, generally one shot. There's a lot of different perks for the hammers, so you can give it so they have tracking. You can make it so that if they kill somebody, the person explodes and does AoE damage and can kill other people. And you can also have it so it leaves an AoE burn area of death, which another perk lets you get overshield on if you stand in. There are also perks that allow you to make it so you can charge through people and deal burning damage to them if you have Hammer of Souls active. There is also another perk that lets it so that if you do fire damage, you regenerate health. And whoop-de-doo, guess what? The Sunbreaker is all about that fire damage. Counterplay to the Hammers of Soul. Kill them. Again, you can dodge the hammer. I've done it a handful of times where I've taken people down when they're overcharged, but that's usually after they've taken 1 or 2 of my allies down with them. Other supers can also be useful against them. Night Stalker, Gunslinger, for example, are 2 good ones for dealing with the Hammer of Soul, Sunbreaker, Titan. Other than that, it's just running away and waiting it out. And now we're going to get to the last class, which is the Warlock. The first subclass is the Void Walker, which is actually probably one of my favorite classes for the Warlock. And so their super is the Nova Bomb, and they shoot a giant grenade that just decimates things. They can also shoot 3 smaller ones, but unlike with the Night Stalker, they don't shoot 1, then 1, then 1. They shoot 3 in an arc. This spread isn't very good, so it's generally not better than the regular one. You can get perks to increase the duration and make it so it does better AoE. You can also just let it be and one-shot people in an AoE. Counterplay to this, make them whiff. That's about it. Other than that, you can't shield it, you can't overshield it, you can't armor it. I don't think I've ever seen anybody survive getting Void or Nova Bombed. I'm not going to say it's not possible, I just have never seen it myself, so I'm pretty sure it's impossible. The next Warlock subclass is the Sunsinger. This one doesn't get a lot of play in PvP because its main purpose is its resurrection ability. But generally what the Sunsinger's ultimate does is it increases your charge time for your other abilities, your grenade and your melee. And it doesn't do a whole lot. It makes the grenades slightly bigger, it makes them charge slightly faster. But at the end of the day, it's not that great of a buff. I have seen it run a couple of times with high success, primarily from the resurrection aspect of it. But it's not, the counterplay to it is non-existent. There's nothing you can do other than kill them. And they don't have any increased armor or anything like that, so you primarily will see people using it as a resurrection tool. The last one is the Warlock that I hate fighting the most in PvP, and it's the Stormcaller. Theirs is called Storm Trance, and what they do is they channel lightning and not Count Dooku. Count Dooku does it too, but it's Chancellor Palpatine all over the place. They can have it so that it does a ring of AoE around them, and it doesn't just channel in front of them. I found out the hard way, it also goes and reaches way up above them too. So the area of effect for this ability is really, really high. Generally, you'll kill somebody in about 3 to 5 seconds. But again, There's no increased armor, or not a dramatic amount of increased armor, so you can still kill them rather reliably. However, because they do have rather good speed and decent damage in this mode, they're going to take down a lot of people before you can kill them. So your counterplay, run the fuck away, or kill them really, really fast. You can Sunbreaker, you can Striker, you could... Blade Dancer wouldn't be ideal because by the time you get close enough to them to stab them, they'll have already killed you, but Gunslinger can work. Night Stalker is 50-50. If you land the hit, you win. If you miss the hit, you lose. So there's not a lot of counterplay to that ability either. And so that brings us to the final point of this video, what counterplay could and ideally should look like. I'm going to use examples from Overwatch here. So Reaper has what's called Death Blossom. He shoots a whole bunch of shotgun blasts around him and does a lot of damage. That being said, Diva can use what's called her Defense Matrix to eat the bullets. Lucio can boop him away. Reinhardt can charge into him and stun him and throw him away. McCree can flashbang him and stun him and push him away. Soldier, McCree, Pharah, Hanzo, Junkrat, Widowmaker, as well as Orisa and Ana all have decent enough range that they can sit outside of his damage area and kill him. Let's see, what other super abilities are there? Basically every super ability in Overwatch has really good counterplay with the exception of the supports. Mercy's is a resurrection. Can't really do anything about that other than kill them again. Lucio's is a shield. Can't do a whole lot about that other than wait it out or fire at it to generate more supercharge for yourself, except for Sombra, who can use her ultimate ability to hack it away. Not great counterplay there, but there is at least something. And the shield degenerates on its own, so you don't need to worry about it too much. It lasts for about 5 seconds. Zenyatta's is again a healing aura where he becomes invulnerable. However, you can still move him to Lucio's boop. Ana's biotic grenade, which stops healing. Reinhardt's charge, all can be an issue for that. Symmetra's ultimate is a shield generator or a teleporter that she can place that can be destroyed. Diva's ultimate is a bomb that can be blocked by Reinhardt or by anything of the terrain. I believe Winston's barrier as well as Orisa's can stop it. I know Winston's, I'm not sure on Orisa's. I haven't played her or seen enough of her to know for sure. And again, in Overwatch, there are less opportunities for cover, I find, in Overwatch than in Destiny. Not by a lot, but by enough that the Diva Bomb is still kind of powerful. Reinhardt's super is also rather lacking counterplay. His is hammered down. He shoots his hammer down and knocks everybody on their ass in an AoE in front of him. This can be countered by another Reinhardt shield by not being in front of him. And there are certain characters like Pharah who can sometimes fly high enough above it to not be hit by it. The other thing is, if Reinhardt does it and there's nobody else to follow up on it, he's not going to get kills directly off it generally. A Reinhardt solo ulting and hitting people is generally only going to get 2 kills from it, even if he hits the whole team. Whereas all of the Destiny classes, if they have an AoE ability, which would be the Night Stalker, the Striker, the Voidwalker, and the Stormcaller, if they hit all 6 people, I think with the exception of the Night Stalker, they're going to kill everybody. Striker will kill everybody, Sunbreaker will kill everybody, Voidwalker will kill everybody, and Stormcaller is likely to kill everybody if they hit all 6 at the same time. Pharah's, you can kill her, which is really easy. Anybody who has decent aim can kill her rather quickly. So McCree, Soldier, Ana, Widow, Hanzo. Tracer can do it. Sombra can do it. Lucio's can do it. Mercy's could do it. The other thing is her AoE area isn't as large. It can also be blocked by a shield for a portion of time. It can also be eaten by Defense Matrix. She can't be booped like Reaper can, but she's not moving like Reaper is, so shooting her is a lot easier. Tracer's Bomb, there's not a lot of counterplay to that one either. If you get stuck by it, you're generally dead, but you can move away so it doesn't kill your allies. And generally you have a decent-ish idea of where a Tracer should or shouldn't be. The AoE for that one, again, isn't all that big. You don't typically get 6 kills with it unless somebody's using Zarya's ability, which is the Graviton, which pulls everybody together. Which brings me to the next point, countering Graviton. You can still shoot. You can still use shields. I know Genji's dash, Reinhardt's dash, Tracer's blink, Reaper's Wraith form and Shade Step. I'll let them get out of that. I'm sure I'm missing others, but Anna can use a Biotic Grenade to help heal. Mercy can keep healing. Lucio can be in there and heal. Lucio can use his super to, heal people. Orisa can use her shield to help protect people. There's just a lot more you can do in there. So I think I've covered a lot of different things. I think it makes my point. There's a lot of counterplay to a lot of other abilities. Even in League of Legends, I'm thinking of Zed. His super ability is he goes invulnerable for a second, chases a person, creates a shadow, and then does bonus damage to them, and then that damage is applied to them about 5 seconds later. There are items in the game that let you reduce that damage, that let you negate the bonus damage, or the secondary damage. Xingna's Hourglass comes to mind. There's also abilities that people have where they can go invulnerable on their own, and they will, prevent the second damage as well. So, there's a lot of options available to you for certain things like that. Cannons, super, they create an electric storm around them. Again, you can kill them, you can go invulnerable, you can run away, and there are items, again, that let you do things to prevent the damage, negate the damage, slow them, and all sorts of things like that. So that's going to be the end of this video. And I guess I'm going to end it off with a small plea. Any developer, particularly in this case Bungie, who's looking at making a game that has PvP and super abilities, I know how amazing it feels to have your super ability and it just destroy the enemy team. But keep in mind that the enemy team is also people, and it doesn't feel very great when one guy has to hit 1 or 2 buttons and there's nothing you can do about it. It feels 10 times better when you know how to stop an ability and you get it to work really, really well. I'm gonna leave off with an example of that. I got a quad kill with Reaper using his super ability, and guess what? We just discussed a way that about half the cast can screw up Reaper's ultimate ability. And if it wasn't for that, that wouldn't feel as amazing. I've never felt like, oh yeah, I did super, super great when I got, that shot with the golden gun. Never felt that, damn, I positioned well, I moved well, I picked my timing right when I shoot off my tethers. I never feel like, damn, that was a really good play when a striker just comes out of nowhere and kills me in no time. I have felt that way, even when I don't have agency. When a Reinhardt comes out of somewhere and charges me and then kills me, damn, I was out of position. He did a good job noticing that. But I don't feel that in Destiny, and I think that's primarily because there's no agency. I can't do anything if a striker comes out of nowhere and supers me. I can just go, oh, well, good, he doesn't have the super anymore. That saved 5 other teammates, I hope. Or then I look down and see that I got a triple kill. So, any developer out there who's looking at making a game, make sure that your super abilities feel both good to use and play against. Don't have it be, yeah, you dash between every enemy and kill them in 1 hit, if you can see them when you dash. Unless you can make it so that your players can stop that. So always keep in mind what your players can do against the super when you're designing a super. even if you want them to have one-shot kill potentials. I'm going to leave off with one more example for the Gunslinger. It would be so much easier to just simply tweak it so that you need a headshot. A headshot to get the insta-kill would be so much nicer. There are guns in the game, particularly snipers, that do that already. So it's not too out of place. And then, instead of looking at that gun, going, yeah, I have hopefully 3 kills, I look at that and go, okay, I have 3 shots. Gotta make them kills. And when I make that happen, it's so much better. So with that, hopefully people will make super abilities and ultimate abilities with more agency. Thank you for listening to me rant and ramble, and I hope you'll come back and watch another of our videos.